Just kind of studying biology notes for a lab test and listening to a YouTube channel about court cases and uh, Leto's Law. This guy is hilarious. You got to check him out. He is so funny. So just waiting to see if anyone shows up tonight. I watched the city shed earlier. He had 40 something people. Josh did a pretty good job. Was wondering if we were supposed to talk about tomatoes the whole time. We were talking about everything under the sun, kind of like what we do here. Talk a little bit of wander off topic and same thing there. It was a pretty good time. I gained 2 subscribers, so I'm actually 1 subscriber higher than what I was. Apparently, I lost a subscriber or two today and didn't realize it because I was outside trying to work on my chicken pen and get the chicken run done. And then it starts to rain, and then I find out that my electric fence is the wind has blown one of the ground wires up and it crossed the hot wire. And I had 2 goats on my front porch for most of the afternoon. I just said, y'all have at it. Enjoy yourselves. I'll put you up whenever I'm done with this. Off and on with the rain. So I watch a little YouTube. And I go out and I put a fence post down. I watch some YouTube. I go out and put a fence post down. I pulled my wire out and got it ready. Turns out it's not as tall as I thought it was. So I'm going to have to use 2 rows of wire, and my fence post will only hold one. So now I'm going to have wire across the top and a section of chicken run that I can't walk into because it will only be about 4 foot tall, and I'm about 6 foot tall, and Morgan won't be making many trips into that area. But while I wait to see if anybody shows up, I'm going to listen to Leto and read over my notes. A student is observing fruiting bodies. His spores are projecting from a club-shaped structure. Then what is the phylum name? Trichodiomycota, Zygomycota, Glomeromycota, Ascomycota, Basidiomycota. And what is the name of the spores produced by this club-shaped structure? It is from the phylum Basomydiomycota, and they are basidiospores. The easiest part of this is whatever it is, Zycomycota produces zygospores, Basidiomycota produces basidiospores. You can get spores if you can get the other part right. But the other part is the tricky part. I don't know my funguses. I might be a fun guy, but I'm not into fungi. What type fructose, fructose, and foliose of lichen is represented in the image below? Well, it looks like a flower or leaves. It's foliose. It's just stuck to the bark. It's fructose, and if it is like little limbs poking up, it's fructose. What structures are indicated by letters A and B? Well, I got half of that right. I knew they were ascospores, but I did not realize that the ascus was the specific part they were asking for because it is on what is commonly referred to as a hyphae. So I did not know that the hyphae had an ascus which contained the ascospore. I'll try and remember that tomorrow for the lab test. What kind of bacteria is this? And if she uses the same questions like she normally does, I got to remember it's the Anabina. Hopefully, I don't have to spell it. And what shape of bacteria is this? It's all curlicue. It's beryllium. What do you know about the cell wall structure of gram-negative organisms? Well, gram-positive bacteria have a thicker layer of peptoglycan and will hold gram stain, whereas gram-negative bacteria have a thinner layer of peptidoglycan and they will not hold the stain and it will wash away during the staining process. Which of the following shapes is indicated in the picture below? It's a rod-shaped bacteria, so it's got to be bacillus. What organism is represented in the picture to the right? I wanted to write down rattlesnake rattles because that's what it looks like, but the correct answer is oscillatoria. I got that one wrong too, so I have to remember that. Ground algae is commonly referred to as seaweed, or seaweed is commonly referred to. No, seaweed is commonly referred to as seaweed, but it is actually brown algae, and it is made up of blades, air bladders, a stipe, which is a stalk, and roots, which are not roots. They're called a holdfast. And what is the name of this organism in the image to the right? It looks like a stingray, so it's got to be a dinoflagellate. Flagellate gives it away. And I've got to turn Steve Leto off because I can't read and listen to him. There we go. He's gone. What is the name of the organism in the image below, and what supergroup is this organism found in? This organism looks like a golf ball with spots on it, and it's a volvox, and it belongs to the supergroup Archaeoplastids. I don't get it, and I really don't care. As long as I can remember it long enough for this lab test tomorrow, I'm good because this is my last semester in this school, and then I'm going somewhere else for my master's degree, and I'm going back into history. I'll take biology as an elective along and get my 4 year. And as time goes by, it's not my priority now. I've been biology to death. If my advisor had actually let me take in the courses that they said I still needed, like one English course, instead of throwing me in all these junior and senior level biologies, that's the only classes I have. When you register for 4 classes to be full time, and they're all upper level biologies, you get burned out quick. Morgan's tired. Morgan drops 2 classes at least every semester, and my advisor wants to meet with me because they feel like I'm falling through the cracks because I drop 2 classes every semester. No, Morgan's not a dummy. Morgan knows if he takes all 4 classes, he will not get all A's. And Morgan wants the A's. He doesn't want B's or C's or just to get by and graduate. Morgan wants good grades. Morgan is no dummy. And I told her I was not falling through the cracks. I was getting what I needed, not what they thought I needed. And then she says, and we can't find your paperwork to where you're admitted to the 4 year biology program. Don't you remember we did that in about a 3 day rush just to get me into school just a little over a year ago? January was a year ago. Well, can you find that paperwork? Lady, I've moved since then. And it's not up to me to keep up with paperwork for the school. It's up for the school to keep up with paperwork for me, not the other way around. That's your job. And You can go through the paperwork again. You can put me out of the biology program. I don't care. There are many other schools within driving distance of me, and I will not worry about this one. Identify the structure at letter C on the image to the right. It is a stipe on the algae I was talking about earlier, brown algae, a type of seaweed. It's got a hold fast instead of roots, and it's got blades instead of leaves, and it's got air bladders to make it float up in the water. But I got that wrong, so I got to remember stipe. What organism is commonly known as seaweed? Brown algae. What supergroup does the organism below belong to? There's a picture of the golf ball again. Archaeoplastids. What's the name of the organism? Volvox. I don't know what a Volvox is. Although under a microscope they are pretty and they usually have a pretty blue color. The structure the arrow was pointing to is known as the vegetative cell. True or false? False. The Volvox does not have a vegetative cell. Hello, whoever's there that's not there, that may still be there. I don't know. I just saw the number one pop up by the people and then it went away. So if you're there, how you doing? Please get me to start reading over this biology because it's boring as crap. Lizard evolution in lab questions for computer modules 1 and 2. I got 3.5 out of 5 points on this. First question, not going to be on the test. Second question, an adaptation is a structure or function that is common in a population because it enhances the ability to survive and reproduce in a particular environment. Provide one example and an explanation of one adaptation in the anolis lizards. We have anolis lizards in this country. The Anolis carolensis, the little green anole, the little green lizard that turns brown that you see everywhere in the South. Not the one that looks like little tiny brown iguanas. Those are fence lizards. Every once in a while I see one of those here, but not very often. But the green anole, it's the one that's green and turns brown. It's brown when it's at peace, and then when it gets agitated or irritated, it turns green. Or if it's mating, it turns green. Then it puff up that little red thing up under its neck, make it look like a real dinosaur. Used to take those things and catch them, and when they start to bite, get one to clip it on your ear real quick and let it hang there like an earring. We used to do all kind of stupid stuff when I was younger. The longer legs and tails of the tree lizards are adapted to climbing. The ability to climb quickly compared to short tails and legs helps catch prey and avoid predation. Provide one evolutionary explanation for why lizards living in the same part of the habitat, i.e. grass, would have similar characteristics. This may be because they can't even read my own handwriting. They encounter the same problems of predation and prey. How is an ecomorph different from a species? A species is completely different, sharing similar characteristics. An ecomorph is more of a closely related subspecies. Surprised you let me get away with using the word subspecies. In Module 1, you identified which species of lizards were most similar to one another based on relative limb length and toe pad size. In this module, you determine which lizards are more similar to one another based on what type of information? DNA sequencing. For half a point, I was docked because I said that the lizards are more similar to one another according to body type because they were more closely related. And the answer was no, the lizards from the same island are more closely related than those with the same body type on a different island. I really don't give a damn which island they live on. They live on an island. I don't. They're in paradise. I'm not. And it seems like the live stream tonight is going to be a complete bust because there has been 16 and a half minutes go by and there is no one here. But wait a minute. It says I'm here. There I am. So I'm going ahead and call on this tonight, read over this biology some more because I have to get up early in the morning and be there and ready with the bells on, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed by 8. And I'm not going to be bright-eyed. My tail will be there, and it's not going to be bushy by any means. And I'm not going to be wearing bells. I'm not a damn goat or a reindeer or a cow or none of that lead animal BS. So if somebody tunes in and sees this live stream, I hope you laugh at me because I haven't decided if I'm going to delete it or not. I'll probably delete this one. It's not worth wasting 17 minutes of somebody's life on. Anyway, if somebody catches this before I delete it, I'll leave it up. And in that case, good night. And I will see you tomorrow.